Hello, welcome to my talk. My name is Joseph Mbele. I'm a Tanzanian. I teach here at St. Olaf College in Northfield, Minnesota. I'm in the English department and I've been here since 1991. So it's now 34 years. Before that, I taught at the University of Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, my country. I was in the literature department from 1976. I have a YouTube channel and I enjoy posting videos over there, and I welcome you to review those videos. There are many now. You can choose what subject interests you. I talk about culture, education, globalization. Culture and business has become a special interest of mine in the last few years. Today I would like to talk about something different. Speaking engagements. I read a lot about this. If you go online, Google the topic, speaking gigs, as Americans call them, public speaking, speaking opportunities, those kinds of topics. You'll see what I'm trying to say here today. It's a big industry. It's a big industry out there. Lots and lots of people are being drawn into it. Celebrities as well as people who are not known anywhere. And there are programs, advertising, courses. You can take a course or you can take a workshop or, some instruction, so you can be an effective public speaker. They promise a lot. They can transform you from obscurity to a lot of renown. They can turn somebody who is not confident as a speaker, turn them into a very powerful, articulate, moving speaker. I've become a bit skeptical about all this, and I want to share my perspective here. I'm not moved, really. I read these announcements, I read these promises. Sometimes, I don't know how to put it. I keep reading them, but I'm not truly persuaded that I would like to do such a thing. I'm a teacher. I've been teaching 34 years now, and I have my own ideas and sentiments about what I'm doing, and beliefs, principles also, if you like to call them that. And one of these is simply being authentic, being myself. I have never really seriously considered following other people's instructions or guidance. I have always believed in being myself in the classroom. I believe in showing up as Joseph Mbele, as a person interacting with fellow human beings. Students are there, and each one is unique. They have different emotions, different intellectual capacities, different sensibilities, and this vary from day to day. Frankly, they are not the same students every day. A lot of unpredictable things. And so there is a need for me to be attentive to these variations, to these changes, to respond to this phenomena as I teach. So each day is different. I cannot follow a script in terms of how I teach, how I make my presentations. I have to make this authentic connection with the students. I have to be alert on every day to all of these factors. I am also a human being. I am not the same person every day. So I never really know how a particular class will turn out. Something could happen in the classroom that will change my mood. Something will happen that will dampen my spirit. For example, just before a class, a student could come and tell me they have heard some very, very bad news. And that will definitely change the way I teach that day. Or sometimes something exciting will happen, on the campus or around the country or in the community. That will definitely affect the way the class is run, the way I do my presentation. So I think it's the same with public speaking. I don't think I am ready or even willing to be in a situation where I'm supposed to deliver some prefabricated presentation following somebody's rules and trying to impress my audience. Staging a performance, actually. I don't think my presentations should be, choreographed performances. I am not comfortable with that idea at all. I prefer to be creative in a way, spontaneous in a way, in order to touch base with the audience. I get invited to speak. They tell me, the people who invite me, they tell me what they would like me to talk about. Now, I'm a cultural consultant, and often they ask me to talk about the subjects that I've written about in these two books. Issues of cultural differences, challenges that institutions face, in terms of cultural diversity. These institutions can be schools, they can be non-profit organizations, or they can be companies, associations of business people. So they invite me to give a presentation, and I focus on challenges of cultural differences. And I've noted, of course, each presentation, makes me a better consultant, and the fact that at some point I was able to write a book has actually impacted my credibility. People read the book, they get inspired, and they are curious to hear me. This book is called Africans and Americans, Embracing Cultural Differences. It was published 2005, and it has been my most popular book. And then I followed it up with this one, Chickens in the Bus, More Thoughts on Cultural Differences, several years ago. So publishing a book, at least according to what I see here in the USA, enhances or establishes the speaker's credibility. And if you go online, looking at what I've said, announcements about training programs for speakers, you'll see that the trainers or the distinguished famous speakers, they present their CV, their resume, they'll talk about a book they've published or books they've published. Again, this consolidate or establish their credibility. It's the same with me. I'm happy, I'm grateful I was able to write these books, and I get speaking opportunities. In fact, today is early September. On the 1st of October this year, I'll be in a town called Richfield in Minnesota here. I've been invited by the Richfield Businessmen's Club to give a talk. I look forward to it. And I'll talk about challenges, cultural differences for business people, culture and business in a multicultural world, that kind of thing. So in my presentations, I want to be myself. I want to touch base with the audience. I want to connect with them on a very human level. And so I do not want to be mechanical, artificial, just delivering some kind of package. No, I want to create my presentation, while doing the presentation. It's just like what we folklorists say about storytelling, folktale performances, for example, where people, compose as they perform. They have not memorized the text when they perform a folk tale, for example, or an epic. No, they have not memorized the text. They are basically composing it as they are telling the story. So that is my principle, to just be myself and try to connect with people on a very human level. So if you look at my book, for example, this one, I make it very clear that it's not a scholarly book, not a scholarly study. I say it is more like a collection of a traveler's tales, anecdotes, and thoughts. I wanted it to be that way, making me feel that I'm talking to fellow human beings. That's important for me. I'm talking to fellow human beings. So I don't want to impose on them some abstract theories and fancy ideas, abstract ideas, very academic ideas. And so I say, I hope it will generate a discussion, more tales, anecdotes, and thoughts. Yeah. I am not interested in, things which might be very structured, very academic. I want to be myself, connecting with the audience, responding to their mood while I'm talking, and so on. I was invited, for example, to the city of Faribault, and I talk about this invitation in my book, Chickens in the Bus. In that city, they had problems with immigrants who come with their own behaviors, ways of doing things. For example, immigrants from Somalia, they have this habit which is very African, which is appropriate in Africa, of hanging around, in the downtown area in small groups or large groups and just talking forever. And this is not what Americans do. So there were tensions in that city. So, as I say in this book, somebody invited me. Actually, she's a friend of mine, a distinguished person in that city. She invited me to try and talk to the people in that city. She knew I'm a cultural consultant, I deal with such issues. And so I walked into that auditorium. It was at the library in Faribault. I talk about it here. And when I went into that room, I could see it was very tense. There were Somalis there, the Somali men, young and old, and there were the local Americans there. So on one side, and then the Somalis are on the other side. It was very tense because the problems had been going on for a while, and there was tension in that city. I could sense it in that room. So there's no way I could have just walked in there to give, a prefabricated presentation. I quickly saw, what I needed to do, as I say in this book. So I tailored my presentation to the mood in that room. I had to find a way to, alleviate or eliminate the tension and get people to be comfortable. And so I talk about this and what I did in this book. It worked very well. And no prefabricated presentation would have achieved what I achieved on that day. So again, I don't want to even try, to take these courses, these programs to teach me, that would teach me how to make a presentation. It's not about showmanship. That's what I'm afraid of. It's not showmanship. I just want to connect with people that invite me. And frankly, I have testimonies of, presentations I've made, which have really resonated with people. And just being myself, there will be a link, below this video to one of these testimonies from a professor who invited me to South Central College here in Minnesota. You can read what she wrote about the way I did my presentation and the impact. So that's what I wanted to share today. And I hope I've made the point that I'll continue to just be myself. And I know I won't be super famous, but I'm pleased that I'm able to connect with those people that invite me. And definitely I'll find ways on my own to do a better job. And every new invitation, as I've said at the beginning, enhances my knowledge, my experience, and that's the way it will go. Thank you for listening to me. Feel free to leave comments in the comments section. I really appreciate those comments. I wanted to say what I've said. It might sound a bit strange, but if you look at the other videos on this channel, you'll find I've been that way even when I talk about writing. I write, to express myself, not in response to some external pressure or expectations. And so I choose my own topics, I choose my own style. I want to project my true self, that's all. I'm not moved by considerations of whether my books will sell, for example. No, there's a video I made, a video I recorded about this. I'll have a link to that video, and you can listen to that one as well. So you'll see I'm very consistent in what I've been saying today about my desire to be myself and my desire to connect with audiences on a very human level. Thank you, and I wish you a very nice day.